It's a Friday night Last of Us. Does it start your weekend on a high or a low? Maybe both. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watch Your Past, and I'm here to talk to you about Last of Us Season 1, Episode 5, Endure and Survive, which is arriving early. It's arriving on Friday, February 10th, 2023, because of Super Bowl Sunday. It's coming to us a little early. It starts off the weekend, and does it start off right, or does it start off poorly? Maybe a little bit of both, but look, my recommendation is definitely watch it. Watch all this. This is such a fantastic series. This episode introduces us to some new characters, lets Joel open up a little more, kind of show his caring side a little more, and it has such a fantastic ending. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the episode, a few things I liked, one thing I didn't like, and briefly touch upon the ending and why I liked it so much. So if you don't want to know what happens in this episode, turn this off when I get to the ending section. I will let you know when that happens. There will be spoilers, but I will give you a clear indication when that happens. Before, I'll keep it vague so you can keep watching and get my thoughts. So in The Last of Us Season 1, Episode 5, this continues what happened in The Last of Us Season 1, Episode 4, where Joel and Ellie were trapped in Kansas City, and they were trying to get out, but there was a group in the city that were hunting them down, and Joel and Ellie were just trying to survive. They thought that all they had to worry about were the clickers and the infected, but no, you have to worry about people also. At the end of the last episode, we met two people who we thought were Sam and Henry. Well, we find out that they are. And now Joel, Ellie, Sam, and Henry have to figure out what they're going to do to survive. So, things I liked about this episode. Look, the first is the new characters. I liked Henry and Sam a lot. I thought it was fun to have more additions. I liked their backstory. I liked the different challenges that they had versus the things that Joel and Ellie had, and where their characters were common and where they were so different. It was really nice to see that interaction, to see the two groups of very different people interact and try to survive in this episode. And look, I like Joel and Ellie, but it's always fun to have more people. So I really enjoyed having some new characters, especially getting a deep dive into them. The second thing I loved is kind of, I don't know, Joel opening up, Joel becoming more caring. He in this episode gets to exhibit a little bit more of like a fatherly kind of mentorship and or fathership type of relationship with Ellie. He's taking care of her, he's watching out for her, and he becomes a little bit more kind of outwardly protective of her, which I liked. I like seeing Joel take on that role. And, it's what we all expect, but it's nice to see it finally kind of moving along. And the last thing I really liked is the ending. Not so much for the content, but just because it is such a fitting ending that fit perfectly with the way that this series is developed and the tone that this series has. And so I really liked the fact that it ended the way that it did. So things I didn't love as much. First and only thing is, there is a thing that happens in this episode that kind of causes a conundrum, a very big conundrum that just, I don't know, it was okay that it happened, but it also felt kind of weird in terms of how it developed. So now I'm going to go into both of those, both the ending that I liked and the weird thing I didn't like. So there will be spoilers in this part. If you don't want to know what happens in this episode, I would turn it off now. But let's keep going. So, like I said, thing I didn't like, there's a part in the episode where essentially a truck plows into a house, and that then causes like a sinkhole to happen, which is how all these infected who have apparently been living under the city in Kansas City get out and start massacring the rebels. And so, hey, look, it was a convenient time. It was good for, our friends, Joel, Ellie, Sam, and Henry, but it just felt weird. Like, so Fedra just pushed all the infected into the sewers or under the city, and then no one ever figured out, like none of the infected ever figured out how to get around. Like there were no pipes that went up. They sealed everything. That seems impossible. So look, it was a convenient way to have this episode develop a climax, but it also felt kind of silly that they would just have no infected, that no one would know about these infected, that no one would be able to find these infected, and all of a sudden that they burst up en masse. But going to the ending, the thing I really liked is that, so in the end, Joel, Ellie, Sam, and Henry escape, and they get to like a motel just outside the city. And while they're there, Joel and Henry are like bonding a little bit. Joel says, "Hey, you can come with us to Wyoming. We're going to be walking, but we could use the company." And Henry agrees. So like, great, they're going to kind of have some companions, get some friendship, whatever. Ellie and Sam are in the other room, and Ellie, they're playing around, they're talking, and then Sam asks about, like, essentially, if you become a monster, are you still in there? And that's when he shows Ellie his leg where there's a little bite from what happened earlier. Ellie's understandably concerned. She says, her blood is a cure because she's got antibodies. She has a cure. So she cuts her hand and like puts it on Sam's wound to try to like get what's in her blood into Sam. Well, as you can imagine, it's a nice gesture. It doesn't work. So when Ellie wakes up in the morning, Sam is staring at the window, like just staring outside. Ellie thinks, okay, like he's feeling better. But when she goes around, he attacks her. He tries to attack her. And they spill out into the main room where Joel and Henry are. Joel tries to move and stop this, but Henry pulls out a gun and points it at Joel and says, no, no. And then kind of almost an instinct to save Ellie because Sam is on top of Ellie trying to attack her, he shoots Sam. And then after that, he realizes like what he'd done, who he had killed. He killed his brother. And so in like a fit of remorse, he puts the gun in himself and shoots. So look, not a happy ending, but a fitting ending to what this world has and to like the challenges that are going on. So Joel and Ellie bury Henry and Sam. And then Ellie leaves a message for Sam saying, I'm sorry. I assume that's because her blood didn't cure him or just sorry for the situation. Like there's nothing that she did wrong, but I think she feels bad because her blood didn't fix the situation. So they start heading off west to continue on to Wyoming, and that is the episode. The next episode will air on Sunday, February 19th, 2023. So catch up before this. Get on board. There's a fantastic series. You should keep watching. And thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.